I'm Lysandra, and this channel is called Grace and Grief. And I created the channel to document a grief process that I'm in. My husband Kenneth passed away in October, and he's really the closest person to me to pass away. And so I have been suddenly, unexpectedly, and thrown into this grief process. My husband and I met when we were in high school, and we were married for 13 years. And we have 4 children. They're 12, 10, 8, and 7. And so I started writing about him and our relationship, and I started writing posts on Facebook about just God's grace in the middle of the grief. And I then started to create these videos to document and talk about how I was experiencing God right in the middle of the most difficult time in my life, and a situation that challenges my faith more than anything that I've ever experienced. And so I'm on a roller coaster. I have another video called The Roller Coaster, and grief is a roller coaster of emotions. I'm finding that I keep coming into new places in my grief, and from one week to the next, it's not the same. I am always grappling with something new, and some new aspect of the grief. Sometimes it's missing my husband. Sometimes it's, adjusting to this new life without him. Sometimes it's frustration. Sometimes it's guilt. Sometimes it's anger. Sometimes it's loneliness. Other times I feel good. I feel full of hope. I feel supported. I feel full of faith. And then, 2 days later, I feel exhausted. I feel weary, I feel angry, and so I'm just on a roller coaster ride of emotions, and I know that that's normal. I started attending Grief Share meetings, and Grief Share is a recovery group, a recovery support group for people that are dealing with the loss of a loved one. There's Grief Share support groups all over the place. If you go to griefshare.org, you can type in your zip code or your city and state and find a Grief Share support group that's near your house. I am 4 months in my grief process. I absolutely recommend finding a Grief Share support group or recovery group. If you don't have a counselor, or even if you have a counselor, you can go to the Grief Share support groups to supplement the counseling. I think that I'm in a place where God is trying to help me take the time to just feel how I feel. Kenneth is not here, which is daunting and stressful. My kids are a joy. They're delightful, they're sweet, they're helpful kids, but still they're kids, and it takes a lot of emotional energy to be in tune with them and know where they're at in their own grief process, because all 4 of them have a different personality, and they all process things differently. For example, yesterday I was just so overcome with anxiety. I don't know when I got that bad, but I was just, oh God, I just felt like I need a minute, and I went, but they wanted to play outside, and they wanted to put air in the basketball. And I got the basketball net set up, and then he realized that there wasn't enough air in the basketball. So then we have to go and look through Kenneth's stuff that he has, my husband's stuff that he had in the garage, to try to find the air pump. Somehow I, tried to put air in the basketball and then broke the air pump. It says if Daddy was here, he would have, been able to put the air in the basketball, and he would play basketball. He used to steal the ball from me and shoot the ball in the basket, and You know, I said, yeah, I know. You're right. He would have. I wish he was here right now. And, you know, I was just feeling overwhelmed and inadequate and stressed and sad and grief stricken. And then my son started to feel, you know, sad. And he, you know, laid his head on my shoulder and, you know, was saying how he missed daddy. And, you know, I tried to tend to him as much as I could, you know, but then I felt like I can't even help you. You know, I came in the house, I came in my room, I cried. He went in his room, he cried. You know, we convened later. Oh God, and I thought, is this how we're supposed to do this? I don't know if this is how this is supposed to go. My hope is in the Lord. My hope is that he is going to give me the wisdom and the strength to be the mother that my 4 children need me to be. That he is going to bless me to train them up in a godly way, and that even though they have experienced this loss, that they are going to grow up and be people of strong character and strong faith and walk in their purpose and live out their calling and their destiny and be healthy and be happy and have healthy relationships and healthy habits. That God is going to bless me to be healthy and whole and a blessing to other people and to walk out my purpose and my destiny. My hope is that God is going to take even this devastating situation and turn it around for good. I don't know how this story came up, but I started to share with them about a time where I was in high school. I was talking to them, I think, about fear. And I was telling them that I went to high school in the hood. I tell you, it was the hood. There were stray dogs and all kind of crazy stuff. And, you know, suspicious people. And, you know, I told them that although I never really articulated this to anybody, but on the mornings where I didn't see any other kids come off the bus and I had to walk alone, sometimes I was scared. And I told them that when I would walk, I would sometimes quote Psalms 91. And this is when I was about 14. I don't know, I think at the time I thought, if I say these scriptures out loud, this somehow is going to build this beam of protection around me. I don't know why I thought that, where I got this, but I just thought this is going to bring this power and protection around me. I wasn't like deeply spiritual or anything at the time, but and so this was my relationship with God at the time. And so I told my children that a couple of years later, I was still in high school. My mom took myself and my brother's girlfriend at the time and one of his friends out to visit him at a military school he was at. And while we were in the car, my mother started having a seizure. We kind of flew off the expressway and down into this grassy area that had a lot of small trees. And we were hitting the small trees. The trees were coming up out the ground. All of the windows in the car shattered. And somehow we kind of ran into the middle of the medium, and the car stopped. And there was an older couple, I don't know where they came from. They came up, they said, we saw the whole thing. We saw your car fly off the expressway. It looked like it should have flipped over at any minute, but it didn't. And we just called an ambulance. Everyone that was in the car, because the window shattered, had glass in their face or in their body, and had little cuts. But I didn't have any cuts. Brother's girlfriend at the time and his friend, they told me, you know, when the car stopped, you started praying for your mom, and it looked like there was this big, you know, yellow shield around you. And they said it in a joking way. We all laughed. But they said, yeah, it looked like there was this big yellow shield around you. Later that night, I was in the hospital room with my mom, and she went to sleep. she was asleep and I had been asleep. And when I woke up, I was crying, probably from the trauma of it. But I started to think of God, I didn't have any glass on me. And I think I was just grateful for God's protection and how he had kept us and how he had protected us. And, you know, when I saw my mom was having a seizure, I thought, I'm going to die today. That's what I thought initially. And so I was so thankful for God's protection. And in that moment, I could hear in my spirit, and 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand. It was like I could hear God. It's as if he was trying to let me know that he had saw me the whole time. Like I have seen you the whole time. Freshman year, walking down the street, saying those scriptures, holding your Bible, believing I was protecting you and that I had this shield around you. I have been watching you the whole time, and I saw that, and I am doing that. And I felt like he was trying to use the situation to show me your faith means something to me. Your hope means something to me, and I am doing it. I did do this. This is not in your head. And I feel like God, you know, that day it was almost like very clear to me. God, you see me. Like you see me. And I think that when I am praying now, I don't know how God is going to do it. I don't know what God is going to do. But when I'm praying, there's all these memories coming to my mind where God is reminding me, I saw you, and I was with you here, and I was with you there, and I was with you at this age, and I was with you in this moment, and I have done all these things. I saw you, and I see you. Like I am, you know, I am with you. I see you. I see your faith. I see your hope, and I'm going to honor it, and I'm going to do something. And I'm not going to allow you to be ashamed or confounded. And so that's my hope. That's the premise for my hope. And my hope is in him. My hope is in him and his goodness and his faithfulness. And I have an expectation that he is going to use even this situation for my good, and that I am going to see him move again and bless again, and that God is going to continue to be God, and that he's going to continue to be good, and that he's got a plan even for what I could not prevent and don't have control over. That he's got a plan, and that if I cooperate with him and keep staying in faith, sooner or later I'm going to see him turn this situation around for my good. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel or share this video with someone who you think can benefit from watching it.